Hey everybody, Adam here with Hometown Acres. Welcome back. So today we're going to talk about the most frequently asked questions I get related to these IBC totes, and maybe even the most asked question we get on the channel. Stick around. So if you've been following our channel for any length of time, you know that I run a small hobby firewood business on the side. I do have a day job. I work as a financial analyst, and really the firewood thing is just something I enjoy doing, and it's nice that it provides a little bit of extra income every year. So that way buying toys like log splitters and chainsaws and side-by-sides and all that stuff isn't quite so painful. But one of the things that we've done over the years is tried to perfect the process. And one of the things that we've done is added these IBC totes into our workflow. And I've did a separate video on the value that these IBC totes adds. And the whole point of that video was it takes about 15 minutes to stack one of these, which is 1/3 of a cord. And I talked about that not using these baskets, you have to touch the wood about 5 times to get it from the end of your splitter to in your wood stove, you know, between stacking it out here to season, bringing it in the house, all that. But with these baskets, you only have to touch the wood twice. You've got to put it in the basket, and then when you're ready to burn it, you've got to take it out of the basket. So you're saving yourself about 3 touches. And I timed how long it took to stack one of these baskets, which again is 1/3 of a cord. It took about 15 minutes. And the analysis that I did was that if you're doing 5 cords a year, which I think for most people with a wood stove is pretty typical, unless you've got an outdoor wood boiler, but if you've got 5 cords and you're saving 3 touches times 15 minutes, it worked out to a little over 11 hours of stacking that you're saving by using these IBC totes. Now, just to give you a little bit of an inventory check on what we have here, I've got about 21 baskets, which, like I said, if they hold 1/3 of a cord, that's 7 cords stacked in the baskets. And then before I started using these baskets, I have a little stack down here that's probably 2 to 3 cords, all red oak here. So we've got about 10 cords of wood just on this stack right here, and this is all for next year. And then that stack down there, we've got probably 3 or 4 cords that's ready to go for this year. So while I recommend using these IBC baskets to anybody that has a loader, a set of forks, and does firewood, they're not without their faults. And the first one being that they don't come ready to use for firewood. You have to do a little bit of processing to them to make them into usable firewood baskets. And what I use here, I've got 3 separate tools that I need to use to make these into firewood baskets. First one, pretty simple, an 18-20 volt cordless drill. The one catch is you will need a 6-sided star bit to take out these top brackets. The next thing I use is I've got a Porter cable set of tools, so I have a 20 volt Sawzall here, and I use these Diablo Blades in it. The reason being is that I just bought a variety pack. There's wood, there's metal, there's thick metal, there's, you know, all different kinds. So I'll put a link in the description down below to these Diablo Sawzall blades. I've used them, I like them, and they work. So the third and final tool you're going to want to cut these baskets open is going to be a 4.5-inch angle grinder. This one here is a Milwaukee. I don't really have any brand loyalty when it comes to power tools, except I don't really like to buy junk. I usually like to go with name brand. But Porter cable, Milwaukee, DeWalt, I don't think you'd really go wrong with any of them. But anyway, so let's go ahead and cut this basket open, then we'll talk about the most asked question we get. So after you get the face cut out so you can reach and stack your wood in there nicely, you're going to want to go ahead and take your grinder and grind down all the burrs from all your cuts, because otherwise those are going to be super sharp and you're going to cut yourself or somebody else is going to cut themselves. All right, so now that we got that basket cut open and finished off and ready for firewood, let's talk about the most asked question that we get on this YouTube channel. And that is, what do I do with the plastic bladders that come inside the IBC totes? So the reason I haven't talked about this before is because I know we're gonna get a flood of comments about being environmentally irresponsible. Now, I wanna preface this with, I have tried to contact every recycling place within a 50-mile radius of my home here. Nobody's interested in plastic. They only want scrap metal. They want nothing to do with these plastic totes or plastic in general. So that leaves me with three options. The first one is don't use the IBC baskets anymore for firewood, which that's not something I want to do. Two is to cut them up and dispose of them with trash or take them to a dump somewhere. And three would be to burn them. Obviously, I'm not going to burn them, and I really don't want to stop using these IBC totes, so that leaves us with option two, cutting them up and disposing of them. I'll show you how I do it. All right, so this is where the Sawzall comes in here. The first cut that I'm going to make is going to be to remove the top cap here, and the top part I actually do recycle. I use these for a rain cap on top of the baskets once I get wood loaded in them. So yeah, this is the part here that I saved. This is the cap. And again, this goes on top of the baskets once they're full of wood to keep the rain and snow off of the wood. All right, so now that I got the lid off of this and we're gonna save that for the rain cap, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up into a little bit smaller pieces here, just because as it sits now, it takes up a lot more room and it's more difficult to dispose of. So what I do is I cut down all four corners and then just fold it in on itself, kind of like breaking down a cardboard box. And then I usually throw a cinder block on top for a little while, an hour or two, just to get it to kind of hold that shape. And then we'll take it down and throw it out with our trash for the week. All right, so there you go, guys. There's a look at what I do with the plastic bladder of these IBC totes. I usually get rid of about one a week. Two reasons: I don't want to overwhelm the trash guys, and two, I think if I did any more than that, they might stop taking them. But yeah, I get rid of one a week. Is it the most environmentally responsible way to get rid of them? No, but is it the best option considering the circumstances that nobody around here will recycle plastic? I think so. So there you go, guys. There's the answer to the question that we get asked most often. What do we do with the plastic bladders on the inside of the IBC totes? Like I said, I fully expect to get torn apart in the comments by the people who want to save the planet. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but do me a favor instead of leaving all the hate comments, offer some suggestions on how you would do it differently. You know, how could you repurpose these? What would you use them for? Or how would you dispose of them more responsibly? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and check out some other videos. Thanks for watching.